So this is where my wife was explaining to you over dinner that I have a problem. Well, she says, I don't even know why he has 5
Well, you do have a problem, dude. What are you talking about?
5 of the same thing, because look, I have literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Nintendos.
ST, what I represent. NY, hold it down for my peeps in the Ville and do or die for the record, let it be known. Chrome conceal, and any one of these niggas can blow your grill, show your skill.
We are in the arcade.
Okay, so I call this game room Launchpad Arcade, and the reason why I call it Launchpad Arcade is because in Daly City at Ceremony, there was once an arcade there called the Launchpad, and I used to go there a lot to go, you know, play video games and hook up with the Daly City homies and just chill. And so I decided to call the whole thing the Launchpad. So that's the backstory behind its name. Sega Saturn kiosk.
This is like the next gen GameStop.
Sort of.
It's the library, basically.
I probably have more games than GameStop, actually, if you think about it. Because just that library is like 1,900 games.
See, anybody seeing this video right now is going to say, hey, you know what? This guy, Garrett, he's got problems. He needs to be committed. I mean, no normal person does this. Look at this shit. It's just stupid.
No normal person does this.
There's no wall space to see. It's all covered with stuff.
No wall space.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to plug in the slot machines.
All right. Ooh, the slot machines. All right.
I'm just trying to see where everything's at. There we go. There's a certain order to things, I guess. So now...
It's okay to be OCD when it comes to stuff like this.
Alright, let me figure out where this one is. This one is right here. So yeah, everything down here works. Oh, you know what? This one is already on. It's just that there's a problem with it. I have to turn it off on the inside, but there's a problem with it. It's I have to clear out the error code.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You could run a casino.
Pretty much.
That's awesome.
So this is like, yeah. I collect PS4s. That's a Monster Hunter PS4. 20th anniversary PS4. So, alright. So this is just one room. Goes around here, wraps around, everything works. Again. The skill stop slot machine. Alright, so got PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 kiosks. The kind that you find at the GameStops.
What kind of sick individual has the kiosks? My god.
Someone obsessed.
Yeah, obsessed.
Okay. Oh, that light just turned off.
Yeah, it turned off for a quick second. There we go.
Oh, there's a bad connection back here.
Alright.
Is it on now?
It's on.
Okay. And then there's a PlayStation 2 back there. So let's
And this is the Sega corner.
Sega Saturn kiosk.
The Sega Saturn kiosk.
There we go. I'll put that demo mode.
You should wear some 80s clothes and act. We could act like we made this back in 1985 or something. Look at all those Genesis consoles up there.
Different variations.
All the variants.
Yep.
Describe some of those variants.
Okay, so this one is the Sonic 2 bundle. It came with the Sonic 2 game. This one came with an NFL bleacher pad. You know, where you sit on the bleachers and the game. This one's the Lion King bundle, where it came with the Lion King game. This one has Streets of Rage 2 bundled with it. That is actually a Sega Genesis Model 3 in the middle.
Oh, the blue box?
Third one, yeah. And then this is the Sonic, like, first generation. So that's the second gen. Here, I'll just mute that real quick.
Alright.
So this is the second gen, and then these are the first gen Sega Genesis. The ones that look like that.
Look at that. Even behind the TV, you have more. Let's take a quick peek at this. A Dreamcast.
So we have
Sega CD.
32X, Sega CDX. This is one of the rarer, more harder to find systems. It was basically a Sega CD and a Genesis built into one. You can put cartridges there. And it was a CD player. And then you have a Model 1 Sega CD and a Model 2 Sega CD. We have the black Sega Dreamcast and the white Sega Dreamcast. Game Gear, Lethal Enforcers with the actual Justifier gun. And this was a system designed for kids, the Pico. It didn't do too well, obviously, because I've never seen these mass marketed. Then we've got a blue Game Gear, Sega Saturn, and we have a Model 1 Sega Genesis. This is another Model 2, that's a Model 2 as well. No, that's a Model 1 back there. Some Dreamcast games, Sega Genesis games, Sega CD, and Sega Saturn, Xbox and Xbox 360.
The Xbox station is right here. So, like, let's shortcut it to the final answer. Like, what are you missing? It seems like you have more things.
Probably a pinball table, you know. That'd be nice to have a pinball machine because I loved playing pinball as a kid. But those are so expensive; they're like $3,000 to $4,000 depending.
Plus, they take up a lot of room, right?
I'd say from like the wall to maybe about here.
Yeah, and you can only have so many of those.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I can find one dirt cheap, then of course. But I mean, that's not a huge priority. But I'm missing a PlayStation 4 kiosk, which is not going to be available until GameStop throws those away when the PS5 comes out. But other than that, as far as this room, I pretty much have everything that I need, I guess.
Let's check out the the old school wall.
Yeah, this is a little narrow, a little more narrow space, but I don't know if you can capture it.
Let's go back in time here.
Yep, my very first system ever was this one. The Atari 2600.
The classic.
And then I got a ColecoVision. And then after the ColecoVision, I got a 5200. And then I got this guy down here, the Vectrex, which was a cartridge-based system, but it was all vector graphics, which was pretty cool back then. You can see back here what the graphics look like. It was kind of like that Asteroids kind of graphics, you know?
Yeah.
And then I had a Commodore 64 as my first computer.
Dude, a lot of
basic programming. Yeah, basic programming. You know, 10, go to 10. You know,
the floppy disk.
Yeah, floppy disk, and there's an Atari 600 XL, Texas Instruments home computer and television. And then over here we have expansion models for the ColecoVision, the steering wheel, and the roller ball. And then this was an old Tandy portable disk drive. Radio Shack. So Tandy is a Radio Shack brand, basically, you know. And then you have all the old school cartridges for the 5200, like the Atari 5200, like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Here's the 2600s. Oh, 7800. And then the 2600 ones, of course, are these. So, yep. For these, I only collected games that I actually played. I mean, the library, I can get a bigger library of these games, but these are all the games that I played. So,
nuts.
Aside from these right here.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and these little mini Coleco tabletop arcade games. I don't know if these have batteries in them. They probably don't. Nope, none of them do. But I had these as a kid. Which ones did I have as a kid? I had a Galaxian. I had Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. I didn't have these growing up, but I decided to try to go for the whole set anyways.
Collect them all.
Yep.
Batteries not included.
Yep, old Commodore 64 cartridges. And, what was it, 5.5?
5.25.
5.25 floppies. Look at that. Freaking Commodore 64 Algebra 1. You know, look at that. Copyright 1981.
Nice.
So.
I was still living in Arvada in 1981.
Yep. Lot of history over here, and then of course these right here, which are also filled with, you know, 5.25.
Mm-hmm.
And then these are the games for that system over there. And then I don't know if you remember this. This is like a Radio Shack little robot,
it looks
like Roby
familiar.
Jr. Yeah, he holds things in his claws here. So yeah.
Amazing.
And then of course,
we got the production center.
Gotta have I don't even know if this is plugged in. Is this plugged in? There we go. But yeah, these are SL1210 MK5s. I got these for $100 each.
Nuts. That's just
Indoor
nuts.
at an indoor garage sale. That was nuts. That was completely nuts. Before that, I still have them. They're in the closet, but Vestax PDX 2000s. A pair of those. Some Rocket monitor speakers, some portable turntables. Okay.
All right.
Moving on to this room.
Moving on to Exhibit B.
Okay, so this is the master bedroom downstairs. We have a master bedroom upstairs and we have one downstairs. So I converted this originally to my home office, which is back here. But then I decided to also expand, you know, part of the game room in here, but make it all Nintendo. So let me flip on all the switches here real quick. Turn it all on. So we got Tron. That's probably like the best thing in this room.
That's the centerpiece.
Yep, is Tron. And then we have a Neo Geo 4-slot cabinet. I have to adjust the waviness in that screen because I don't know what's causing that. Oh, right here. The settings are right here. So I'll fix that. I'll deal with it later. Play Choice 10 tabletop, which is this is really rare. I'd say this is about worth $2,500 because it has the keys. The keys are not here. The keys are in a jar somewhere, but yep. Main cabinet, not built yet. Obviously, the computer's out here that I'm going to use for it.
Oh, okay. So I thought this was built already.
No, not yet.
Okay.
There was a computer in it when I bought it,
Uh-huh.
but it was old, and I'd rather have something
Modernize it a
more
little
up to
bit. Yeah, okay.
date. Play Choice 10 stand-up arcade. So basically, you just select the game you want to play, like Mike Tyson's Punch Out, load it.
Punch Out! Yeah! Yeah.
Yep. Let's go back to the main menu. Oops. How do you reset to it? Oh, right here. There we go. Alright, Virtual Boy up there in the rental case. And then behind it we have a Virtual Boy in its original box. And then up here we just have, this is where...
This is the Nintendo centerpiece right here. I should add, in a Nintendo cabinet.
Yes.
An official Nintendo cabinet. Looks like the cartridge on the side.
Yep.
Nice.
So this is where my wife was explaining to you over dinner that I have a problem. When she says, I don't even know why he has five
Well, you do
of the
have a
same
problem,
thing.
dude. What are you talking about?
5 of the same thing, because look, I have literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Nintendos. But they're all different variants, you know, like the box variants. Like this one has like the gray zapper and this one has the orange zapper on the box. So it's like different. I'll have to get it. And then this one's called like action set and sports set and control deck and challenge set. Control deck over there. So it's like, you know, even though they're like the same console, they're in different boxes. So like even over here, look, these are 2 Super Nintendo Minis, which are rare. So there's one with the Mario character and there's one with Yoshi's Island packed inside. So it's like, gotta get it, even though it's the same thing. And with these too, look at these. I've got like Super Nintendos in the box and they're all the same Super Nintendo, but it's like Donkey Kong Country, Killer Instinct, and then like the Mario World pack-in. So it's like, you know, they're just different boxes.
Insane.
Even though they're the same system. And then we have like Mario Paint, and then the Super Game Boy.
Wow.
And then I have another NES controller set, Super Nintendo back there, and it's just a smaller box.
That's right, they came in 2 sizes.
Yep, 2
oh,
sizes.
I forgot about
the
that.
long one for the 2 controllers, and then you had the one with the single
Single controller, right.
And then of course over here is what we call the Legend of Zelda collection. So I'm big on Zelda. I played Zelda since the NES. And then on the Super Nintendo with, you know, A Link to the Past, and then of course, you know, playing the GameCube versions and the 3DS and DS versions. So this centerpiece is basically anything relating to the Legend of Zelda. So we got the original N64 Zeldas. We have the Super Nintendo Zelda. Link to the Past.
I had that. I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then this is Majora's Mask Ocarina of Time. I have a 3DS XL for Zelda Majora's Mask. Then we have the Link Between Worlds 3DS, and some Wii U games for Zelda. So basically, this whole entire centerpiece is for Zelda. And then over here, we have all the different like 3DS XLs, which is another reason why she thinks I'm crazy. Like this one's a Pikachu one, you know, and it's the yellow one with Pikachu on the front, which is probably one of the. This was actually my first collector's edition 3DS XL. So you have like the Pikachu, and then the whatever. So basically the same system, 3DS XLs. I just have like the different variants for it. So for example, the Pikachu one, and we have like the Animal Crossing one, which looks like a Pop-Tart.
Yeah, it does.
It does look like a Pop-Tart. And then we have like the blue one, like a standard blue, black one. Then I have the Pokemon edition. Then there's a pink one. So if I can find these cheap, I'll collect like the different variants, like Nintendo DS, the DS Lite. There's like black. There's burgundy. There's pink. There's a freaking. There's like a special, like, I forget which one this is, Nintendogs. That was a little paw print special edition. There's even one for like Susan Komen.
What?
Yeah, with a cancer ribbon.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a limited edition one. So, I mean, there's all sorts of weird stuff in here. And then over here, all the different handhelds, the Game Boy Advance, original Game Boy, DS, Game Boy Colors. You remember the Game Boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's two of them in different boxes.
This is memory lane.
Yep. Look at that. Remember the Game Boy camera?
I don't know. Wait, the camera?
Yeah, there's a camera, and you can actually print your pictures out.
Oh, dude, I didn't know about that.
Printer paper.
Wow.
That was way back in the days. And then you have like, where's the? I had a printer. Oh, here, printer. Yep. So you put the printer paper in the printer, and then you can use the camera and then print out your pictures. Go 80s.
Yeah, I know.
Nintendo 64. I didn't really get too much into this console. That's why I only have like a few games, because I only played a few games on here because I was mostly a PlayStation 1 guy.
Mm-hmm.
So around when this was out, PlayStation came out, and so from this point of my gaming history was when I started swaying more over to PlayStation and got into that instead. And so I kind of stayed away from Nintendo until like the GameCube came out. Then I
You migrated over.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which is right there.
All right.
Oh, over here is all the colors of the N64s. They're all the same.
Wow, I didn't know they had this many colors.
This is called the Funtastic series. This is like Fantastic Orange. This is Watermelon Red. This is Gold. This is purple grape, they call it. And then this is the Pokemon edition N64 with a matching controller. Then this is the Jungle Green. And then up here I have a Smoke Gray, which is a see-through, and then Ice Blue is what they call it.
Huh.
These are rental cases for the N64. These are pretty rare. Rental cases.
Rental cases from where?
Blockbuster.
Okay.
And that's a Blockbuster case up there too. The Virtual Boy one. Yeah, that's a Blockbuster case. Over here, all GameCube. Again, this is a very small collection because I had actually, this all went all the way down here, but then, you know, I eliminated all the games that I didn't really play and just kept the ones that I actually played. So, and if you're wondering why I have so many like Metroid Primes, same fucking reason, dude. Look, coupons in size, different cover. This one is bonus disc. This one is Kmart exclusive. Look, Kmart with the player's guide included. It's like, I don't know, I have a problem. That's where I have a problem. Like the Mario Party 4s. Why do you have like 4 Mario Party 4s?
All right, show me the differences.
Plain one. Look, Kmart exclusive.
Wait, what? I can't
display
see.
only.
Where's it say that?
Kmart exclusive.
Oh god.
See? It's all different, trust me. Look, there's even a barcode in the front. See? For display only, barcode with the stupid Kmart thing.
Oh, wow.
And then just the regular version right here.
Yep.
So, that's why, if you're wondering why, you know, there's like multiples of, that's where
There's
I have
slight,
a problem.
subtle differences.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All the boxed GameCubes. This one's from Japan. That's an orange one.
Okay.
From Japan.
That was exclusive to Japan, huh?
Yep. And then over here, we have Voltron. It's actually a GoBot. More Voltron. That's a Gundam figure down there. And then we have GoBots.
Oh,
original
man.
GoBots.
GoBots.
Yep.
This is the poor man's Transformers.
Yep. And I was so poor back then that
Statute of limitations.
there's a statute of limitations. I know I can't get committed. I can't get charged for the crimes. But back in the days in San Francisco, there used to be a store called Woolworths and Merrill's. And Merrill's was like a pharmacy store. It's equivalent to like what Walgreens is now. But I used to steal these. They used to be on the cards, like the little cardboard cards that had, hang tabs.
Right.
I should just pull them off the shelves and then, take them out and pocket them. Because I was so poor. I was like in freaking 6th grade.
Man, you were a thief in 6th grade. Man.
Poor kid.
You're a criminal.
So, I mean, these aren't the ones that I stole. I mean, of course,
you just had to recollect them.
I had to recollect the ones that I stole.
But that means you paid for it the second time around, right?
the second time around.
That's all right. It kind of makes up for it, right?
Yeah, makes up for it. And then these are all the Decepticons. In my opinion, the Decepticons are more of the badasses for Transformers. I think these guys are a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
I mean, they're nice too. The Autobots are dope. They're nice and friendly, but they're a bunch of pussies. I love the Decepticons because all their designs, their vehicle designs, their weapon designs, they're tons better than the Autobots. But I still love the Autobots, but not as much as the Decepticons. So that's Megatron, original Megatron. Let me open these up. Dust-free cabinet. We got Sound, Soundwave. I think it's Piranacons. Then we have Megatron. Then we have like Shockwave back there. So the Dinobots. This is Trypticon. Oh, I have more Sound Blasters here.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah.
Just the one without the boxes, basically, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then part of Devastator, and then a Mega Man. I like Mega Man, so that's all the Mega Mans down there.
Wow.
Yep. So basically, childhood in 2 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And so Autobots, of course, the Dinobots.
It's kind of funny how now that we can afford these kinds of things,
know.
now we can revisit our childhood the way we wanted it to be.
Wanted it to be. Like, this is what I wish I had as a kid. Devastator. We've got Hot Rod. We've got an original Optimus Prime G1 over there. Jetfire, the Macross style Jetfire. Then we have Ultra Magnus. And then this guy. What is this guy again? I didn't have him, but he was at the flea market, and he's a Transformer, so I got him. He was cheap. That was a very cheap purchase, so that's why I picked that up anyways. And that's G1, that's Generation 1. And then all these loose robots here. Got some Game & Watches from back in the days. I used to actually, there's a backstory to these too. So I used to sell a lot of fenced goods back in when I was like a 7th grader for some of the Chinese mafia in San Francisco. And so part of the fenced goods were Game & Watches in the original boxes. And so I used to sell them for this mafia group, to all the kids in middle school and high school. And these were collectible back then. I mean, these were, I sold them in the original boxes, and then I kept a few. Not these. I lost those like a long time ago, but these were the only ones I was able to find out here in Colorado, were these, and then these tabletop Game & Watches. There's like Donkey Kong Jr., Popeye, and then there's Mario Cement Factory and Snoopy. And then there's Donkey Kong 2.
Yeah, I had one of these, but not the 2, but the 1.
Pokemon, I mean, who doesn't like Pokemon? It's a very small section for that.
That's like a shrine.
Yep. And then I love little anime figures, so... Oh, this one is a little provocative. Let me show you what this one looks like. I bought this at an indoor flea market, and I believe I paid $30 for it.
And this was in Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. But
strange what you can find in Colorado.
So, yeah.
Well,
a little provocative.
Yeah. Just a tad.
Just a tad bit,
We're gonna censor this for the kids at home.
Yeah. So that is that figure. Let's see what else. Moving along, more anime figures down there. A lot of strategy guides back here is what you're seeing. A lot of strategy guides. And then these are some of my records.
Just kind of random records?
Yeah, random records. They're the best ones, yeah. Like freestyle. I have freestyle in here, old electro hip hop in here. And then I have laser discs, which you were wondering, like, who the hell still collects laser discs? Well, guess what? I do. Because I I had a couple of Laserdisc players growing up. See, like that. You got
Oh
Die Hard.
man.
Yeah, so $3.99 from like the Arc. That's a thrift store out here. The Arc had a bunch. There's another one. That's like Star Wars widescreen edition. So, yep, these still are good quality on a big screen. So, in fact, remember the video games Dragon's Lair and Space Ace?
Space Ace sounds familiar.
They're like the ones where you just have to move left or right, and then the cartoon character does an action. Those are all Laserdisc games too.
Oh.
So, this here looks like nothing, but these are extra parts, and then these are all the weapons
Ooh.
for all the Transformers.
This looks familiar. I think I used to have one of these.
Yeah, so these are all the weapons.
Dude, that's
All the
gold.
weapons,
That
yeah.
is gold. That is stuff.
The weapons are the hardest parts to find, because usually when you find these, they're missing the weapons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just like any action figure.
Yep, they're missing the weapons or the guns.
Now that is gold.
So I keep everything in that one little collector case. These are all the armor for Jetfire. I found in a random Ziploc bag. I knew what they were. The guy that was selling it didn't know what it was, but I was like, oh look, this is the armor for Jetfire. I mean, if you look at the box, you can.
Well, Jetfire needs spare parts eventually, right?
So Jetfire has spare parts. All right. And then of course we've got
Tron.
Tron,
Dude,
the
it's
almighty
Tron.
Tron. So the backstory with this arcade cabinet is I got this. Okay, so there's a woman named Robin. Rest in peace. She passed away. She had a heart attack. But she messaged me on Facebook saying there's a guy, because she knew I was like looking for one of these like for a long time. And so she said, hey Garrett, there's a guy out in Denver. Was it Littleton? In Littleton that's selling a freaking Tron arcade cabinet. So I looked at the listing and it was like $800 of best offer. And so this was up north. And so I messaged the guy. I was like, hey, I'm interested. You know, I'm going to be doing some work up in Denver later on and ending my day there. So maybe afterwards can I come check it out? And I was like, but I don't have $800, you know. I can probably only spend about $400. And he was like, I'll tell you what, why don't you just come up, you know, check it out. You know, and I told him, I was like, I grew up on this game. You know, I had all the high scores in the arcades, and I guess he thought it was full of shit. And so basically he was like, I'll tell you what, just come up here, you know, and check it out, you know, and then we'll talk the money, we'll talk how much, you know, you can buy it for. So I went up there after work. I did some work off of Colorado Boulevard in Denver. Drove out there as fast as I could. He was getting blown up with you know, offers and stuff. And so he had this little sheet, a little high score sheet on a piece of paper. And it was like, all right, if you can prove to me that you're not full of shit and you actually play this game, beat my high scores. If you can beat my high scores, I'll give this to you for $420. Straight up. And so I was like, okay. So I spent 2 hours at his house just annihilating all his high scores. And he was like, you know, and then we talked for a little bit. He told me like, you know, that his mom used to own a liquor store, and that, you know, when she closed her liquor store, he ended up inheriting this, like just taking it, because, you know, she wanted to throw it away or whatever, but he took it, kept it, and then he decided to sell it because he got like one of these guys, like a main cabinet, you know, like a multicade. And so he wanted to get rid of this. I was like, who the hell gets rid of Tron? I would never get rid of Tron for a MAME.
Dude, Tron
for a MAME cabinet?
Yeah.
You know? But I was like, you know, whatever. So, $420. I mean, this is like a $5,000. I got offered $8,000 for this cabinet. Somebody saw a picture of it next to something else that I was selling, and actually like tried to offer me like $8,000 for it. I was like, nah, I'm good. You know, 'cause when are you gonna see one of these? You're never.
Especially
gonna see
like in this condition too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not perfect condition, but for its age.
For its age,
This is
yeah.
from like the no, this is 82.
80s, 82.
The movie came out in 82, I think.
I think that was the Black Hole that came out in 82.
It was something like that. It was around that time.
82, 83 or something. I remember seeing it in the theater, but then when this came out, it had all the music and everything. MCP Cone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I used to cut a lot of school to play this at a laundromat. So this has a lot. This game and I have a lot of history. So that was just awesome for the guy to like challenge me to, you know, thinking, because you know how some people bullshit, you know, like, I want this, I grew up playing this, and then they just want to sell it or add it to their barcade or whatever. I mean, this guy actually wanted to give it to somebody who actually played the game and I guess would appreciate it, because he had all sorts of offers, and he took mine. 400. I showed you the text message.
Yeah.
You know, the text message of the conversation I had with him that showed $420.
That's insane,
price,
man.
yeah.
That's super cheap. That's
Super cheap.
like a steal of the century.
Yeah. And then this right here is a Neo Geo 4-slot. These were in the arcade way back in the 90s, you know, around when the Super Nintendo came out. And I used to play a lot of these at a pool hall in Japantown. So Japantown, there was this one pool hall that was downstairs from a Denny's in Japantown.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So they used to have these Neo Geo arcade cabinets there, and I used to play, you know, a lot of Neo Geo games. I couldn't afford a Neo Geo, like the actual home console, because the home console, and the games were like $300 games. For one game was $300.
I remember it was something like that, yeah.
It was insanely priced. So when I saw these, you know, on the arcades, I decided to just play them, you know, through the arcade. And so now I finally have one of these at home. I just have to fix this little weirdness with this screen. I think it's just something to do with the adjustments in here, but let's have to lock
the
this
cartridge
down.
is inside there, you said?
Yeah, the cartridge is inside, but I think I just have to adjust like these things. See? One of these things will adjust it or change it. There we go. Something. I don't know. I just gotta play around with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we already said that. This is like my music editing computer. I got this at a steal too. I bought it from a pawn shop. This is like a, I don't know.
It's an iMac, right?
$2,500 iMac.
Mm-hmm.
I got it for $700, which is very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had a bunch of porn on there though. I had to wipe it. I think that's why, no pun intended. Okay.
You probably put it on that NAS over there, didn't you?
Yep.
Yep.
That NAS is failing. You see the failing red light?
Oh, is there?
It's having network issues.
Uh-huh.
I have to replace it. But these are all my loose NES cartridges. And then these are some of my box Super Nintendo cartridges. The ones that couldn't fit in that cabinet back there. And then this right here, my Uncle Galen from Hawaii. All this right here, I got from him. He was going to list this on Craigslist in Hawaii, $5 a game for Mega Man. So I was like, so my wife saw my uncle post on Facebook, and then she told me, and I called him. I said, dude, sell those games to your nephew, dude. Don't sell them to strangers on Craigslist. And he was like, just pay for the shipping, and I'll just give them to you. So I paid for the shipping, and he just literally sent me like Mega Man in the box, Mega Man 3, Super Bomberman 2, Geist for GameCube. He sent me 2, 4, 5, 6, Bomberman, Mega Man X2. He sent me Mega Man 7. This is like a $700 game. Mega Man X, and then Mega Man X3, which is like another like $400 game.
Wow.
Yep. So I'm keeping these. These are like all family heirlooms, so to speak, because my family on my dad's side are a bunch of gamers. And then my dad sent me these. These are never going to leave the collection either. My dad actually sent me some of his games. He actually has a pretty decent collection. I'd say he has like a whole wall shelf full of just games. He sent me pictures, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, which ones are you not playing so you can send my way? And he said, well, I'll send you these, because these are ones he wasn't playing anymore. So he was a big RPG guy, so he plays a lot of RPG games, which is awesome. Super Metroid. So most of his games that he sent were RPGs, and this game right here is like $800 to $900.
Earthbound?
Yeah, Earthbound. It's an RPG where you save the world. So I had one already. I had an Earthbound already, and then he sent me his, so I had two. So I sold my copy, and I sold it on eBay for like $750.
Wow.
It sold like in less than 24 hours. Because there's no point in keeping two. I'd rather keep the one my dad sent, you know? No. That's the backstory with those. And that's pretty much it. Strategy guides here for some Nintendo games, and we have some Nintendo Power magazines. Oh, back here we have like an old Super Nintendo kind of like,
whoa.
Yeah, wireless joystick, fighting stick.
I don't think I've ever seen one of these.
Yeah, Super JoJo joystick console. Oh, this is the box for my iPad Pro. And then a Pokemon Monopoly and an old Donkey Kong game. So, yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, that was a lot of like stuff to cover, but I mean.
But there's a lot of stuff in this room. And, you know, if you walk through this one time, you won't see everything. If you walk through it a second time, you'll pick a little bit more, right?
Yeah, so like here's some more loose carts, you know. Super Turrican 2, which is kind of a rare game. Some Wii games, you know, typical. I started collecting Switch games too, but not a whole lot, because they were kind of expensive. Tell them to keep the ones that I would actually play. And oh, TurboGrafx 16.
TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah. I have a TurboGrafx 16 and a Turbo Duo. Just stay right here real quick.
All right.
This closet's messy, so I'm gonna reach it. Yeah. All right. So I do have a Turbo Duo.
Wow.
Which is like a hybrid TurboGrafx 16 and a Turbo CD. And this is expensive. Like in the box as is right now, it's about $2,000 right here. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna sell it, of course, because that's one of those rarities. And I played a lot of TurboGrafx after Super Nintendo. So this is a pretty obscure console. You'll probably, I don't know who's gonna see this video, but hopefully somebody will know what this is and appreciate it.
Oh, we can crowdsource that. Put it on Reddit. Somebody will identify it.
Don't look in here. This is
All
a
right.
nice closet. I do have the TurboGrafx 2 in the box. I just need to grab it. Here we go. TurboGrafx 16 in the box.
Nice.
So, I don't know if you remember this.
I remember the name.
Yep.
I remember seeing, I think, commercials for it.
Yep. But this was a very, like, you know, short-lived system.
Yeah.
But it's got a big cult following now.
Yeah, it was highly revered, but you just didn't hear about it much after a while.
So there's a huge following for this now. I mean, there's a lot of people who collect for this, and it's a very expensive system to collect for now, especially with the games. A lot of these games are like, they skyrocketed in price.
Mm.
So I just had a few that I remember playing. So, and that's the Turbo Express, which is the handheld version of that guy. Yep. That's pretty much it. I mean, I think I went more in depth than what was in here rather than out here.
Well, yeah, I think item count wise, there's more back there, but
Yeah.
it's hard to tell, right? Because when you look at all these discs,
Like PlayStation 1.
like you can look at this and say, let's think this is a nicely stocked Hollywood video or something, right? Right?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of the stuff that I played as a kid, because again, like after Nintendo 64 came out, it was either play N64 or wait for the PS1. So when the PS1 dropped, it was the only console that I stood in line for on a launch date for any console. So I stayed in line to get a PS1, and it was in the original box like that. That's a launch edition PS1. And I just started buying a crap ton of games for it, and it just had an impressive library. And I played a lot of RPGs on there, a lot of platformers like, you know, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. But I also played like Final Fantasy, which was like what got me into RPGs was Final Fantasy VII. I didn't play any RPG games before this one, and once I played this one, I got hooked, and so I started playing, you know, RPGs for Super Nintendo and for, you know, for other platforms just because of this one game. So, and I had more than this. I think I would say I had enough to go up to here. But again, I you know, parsed a lot of stuff out and only kept the things that I actually played.
Stuff that really mattered to you
Stuff
personally.
that really matters, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and when PlayStation 1 first came out, all their games came in these long boxes. So these were like mostly like launch edition titles. Oh, Mike Realm. This is for Mike Realm. You had a freaking break record that had one little scratch bead on it where I know what game it came from. It was this one. Tell me I'm wrong. Just, I dare you to tell me I'm wrong, because I played this, and there's a soundtrack on here that you used for one of your break records. So if I'm wrong, tell me, but I know for a fact that you used this game, one of the soundtracks on this game, as one of your scratch beats on one of your break records. So Nova Storm. Tell me if I'm wrong. In fact, we're gonna probably text message you about it later on. Okay. In fact, I'm gonna leave this out because you know, after this, we're gonna take a picture of this and send it to you, and then you'll figure it out. So over here is a complete US PlayStation 2 collection. So every single US title for the PlayStation 2 is here. Right here, all the way up to here.
My God.
And then it goes to imports.
And how many titles is that?
About 1,900.
So you have 1,900 discs for PS2 right here.
And that doesn't include the big box variants. So like Dance Dance Revolution I'll have right here. Okay? You have these Dance Dance Revolution games. Then I also have the ones that were bundled with the gamepad. So the same exact games, just bundled with the gamepad. And then we have, of course, like these came with the gun con, like some guns, light guns for your TV. Ninja Assault, Time Crisis 2 and 3, blah blah blah. I don't know if you guys remember this, but my sister loved this game. She got me into this game actually, Taiko Drum Master, or in Japan it's called Taiko no Tatsujin.
Huh.
And so you use these drumsticks to
Neat.
play yeah. And that was on PSP and everything. I was so addicted to that game. But yeah, I mean, complete US PlayStation 2 collection. We have some PSPs here, and then some PSP variants. Gran Turismo box with the system, and Final Fantasy Assassin's Creed, which is the white one, and then the red God of War one. And you had the black Rock Band and another silver Ratchet and Clank. Again, that's where the problem collector comes out, where it's like, dude, you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You gotta
8,
leave
9,
some room
10,
for
11,
other collectors,
12.
man. Why are
They
you
have, like,
hogging it
12
all?
PSPs, but they're different boxes, man. So then it goes all the way to here. I had some Tiger Electronic games growing up, you know, so I started collecting some of these, but not a whole lot. Just the ones that I used to play. And then PlayStation 3. I never tried to go for a full collection of PlayStation 3 because obviously space, and there's just way too many games. This is the only system that I actually went ahead and tried to get a full set because I love PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1, but no room to collect every single PlayStation 1 game or every single PlayStation 3 game. So what's left here is just games that I played.
What you just need is a little bit more budget and a warehouse.
Probably. And then PS4. I like the PSVR. If anybody hasn't tried the PSVR, I recommend it. It's actually pretty dope. So I have all the VR games that have been released up to date. Goes all the way down here, up to here. No, it goes all the way to here. This is the divider right here. So decent amount of PlayStation VR games came out already for the VR. It's awesome. I have it upstairs in the living room. So over here is just some more collector's edition stuff, and more PS4s down there. And that is pretty much it. This is very hard to maintain, dust does accumulate, so I always have to wipe down every once in a while. This stuff is insured on a separate policy aside from the regular renter's insurance, so this is insured. And yeah, that's about it.
That's about it
Childhood
for your
in the basement.
in your man cave,
Yeah.
child cave.
My child cave.
Dude, that is incredible.
Yep.
That is incredible.
And then of course my other passion is music.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we won't talk about that. We're not interested
Yeah.
in music. I mean, who cares about
who
music?
cares about music? We want to hear about the games. So. God of War.
Hey, let's take a separate vid of you playing Tron.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah. Go for it, dude.
All right. The familiar sound when you put the quarter in.
Yeah.
That just like took me right back to like freaking 1980s right there.
Yup.
So Tron was like a game where it was kind of like a Mario Party where you had all these little mini games and for each level, which is pretty cool. And it just progresses. It gets harder like every single level. See if I get it on 99. Nope. And so the levels on the bottom were programming languages. So like right now we're on RPG, then there's like basic, there's user.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You'll see, they change.
Okay.
So Pascal, they had Pascal on there.
Yeah, the first level's pretty easy.
Yeah. Light cycles.
Everyone loves it.
Everyone loved light.
At least make it look hard. My God.
It'll get harder. Trust me. This is just the first level. It's like the high score is 2,000. Clear all these out. Oh.
You gonna go for 100%?
I just messed up though. I messed up. Let's hope it'll rotate back before I have to go up. Come on, 2 more.
Ooh.
Just made it.
Now it was close.
Now it gets harder.
Okay.
See, that was Cobalt.
Okay.
The language was Cobalt, not mine. So I could spam points all day, but I don't want to do that. This will be a long ass video. We'll just do a couple, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe you have to recognize.
Don't forget to spin the wheel next time.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's like an obligatory thing.
All right, what is this? This is either cone or light cycles. I just got an extra life.
Cool.
Gotta do that on the spiders.
Yep.
What's this way? I'm trying to 100% this one. Because you can't 100% anything else after this.
Yeah, it's too fast.
Too fast. Let's see. It's just a trip like after what? Like decades later, it's like I still remember like all the patterns.
Well, this game has held up well, you know?
It's like I remember the patterns as if it was like yesterday, you know? And then we didn't have strategy guides back then.
Yeah.
You had to like keep playing the game until you figured it out.
Or watch other people play.
Or watch other people play. Alright, let's see. We got spiders and cones. Oh.
Well, at least make it look hard on the other levels, man. Come on.
Alright.
Stop showing off.
Okay, let's see. Recognizers after this one.
Okay.
See, this is why you can't emulate. It's hard to emulate this game because you need this.
Yeah, you need the
You
rotary.
need the roller.
And you need the joystick.
Yep.
Do you always use the same patterns, or do you have a set of patterns?
Set of patterns.
Okay.
Just depends on what it is, what level it is. Oh, look, the bit. 5,000 points. We'll just get to the recognizers so you can see the red tanks,
Yeah.
which are dope. Oh, I gotta share one Easter egg with this game.
Oh, alright.
Okay, so there's an Easter egg in this game. If you get the spider level,
Uh-huh.
you pass the spider level. If you get tanks, your shots are faster. And if you get the MCP cone, your shots are faster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's only if you get the... Hold on. It's only if you get, like, let's just say I get the MC... Okay, I'll give you an example. Alright, perfect. riders, if you happen to get the MCP cone or the tanks, your bullets would be like a lot faster than normal. So like right there, super fast. And I told that guy that the guy that sold this to me the same thing, and he was like, I never knew that. I'm like, oh, here we go, recognizers.
I've only made this level a handful of times in my life.
There you go. So I mean, yeah,
awesome.
on, but once I showed that guy like pretty much how fast I was breezing through all that stuff, he knew I wasn't full of shit, and so he was. I can't thank him enough for like freaking selling it to me at that price. So, and then of course the familiar song when you die.
Yeah.
What? Let's do the game over one. Like when the game over, just die. All right. Come on, get me. So you said you put the quarters down here,
Yeah,
right?
a lot of people did, right?
Yeah. Okay. End game music.
Okay. Nostalgia. Dude, you should juggle that. For real.
Beat juggle that theme, huh?
Uh-huh. That would be original.
Heck yeah. But that's it, Tron. This is never gonna leave the collection.
Yep. With the actual quarter slots.
Yep. And I do I have the keys on me? I do. I have the keys on me. Yeah, so literally if I wanted to play free play, I could open the the door here and then trigger the button.
Oh, it's a button for free play? Ah.
So there's quarters in there. This is like a piggy bank. Basically, it's like an expensive piggy bank. So pretty much all the quarters I dump in there, I just keep in there, and then if I can hear that it's starting to get full, then I'll empty it.
Yo, put your quarter up, brother. My underhanded summer jam escape with a free game in my back pocket. The ego anthem of the year left clear off the concrete valley to murder silhouettes with a budget that have me bumming cigarettes. My soul stuck in the mud pit absorbing anchors when I wash shape water sticking 5 great venoms cornered at the